Hi, my name is Olga Boyki. I am a realtor with eXp Realty.
My name is Kaycee Rees. I'm an estate planner with Generation Living Trusts.
Yes, hi, my name is Edita Pluta-Czarnecki. I am Senior Loan Officer at Neighborhood Loans.
And today we're going to talk about trust and estate planning. So when I started looking into the trust, it wasn't even the protection of my assets, financials. It was more protection of my children because they were little. I traveled quite a bit and I was always worried what would happen to them if I was to pass away with my husband. Mm-hmm. So I know everyone has a different reason why the trust may apply to them. And I know we just talked recently about something that was brought up to your attention just recently that I think it's very valid.
Yes. Yeah. So one of the things that we see a lot is domestic partners, right? Same-sex couples, life partners. They assume that they've been together for 20, 30, 40 years, that they have rights to the other person.
Right.
And that's not always the case.
Yeah, especially in those states that they don't recognize the same-sex marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And then marriage is covered by law pretty deeply. But what if the same-sex marriage is not allowed in your state?
Correct. And so what we do is when we build that trust, I either build a trust as a couple's trust or I build the trust as a single trust. Mm-hmm. So if you have a couple who've been life partners for years, but they have not commingled assets, we would do a trust for each one of them. But we would include that life partner to say, hey, this person can use my assets, can mm-hmm. use my money, can live in the house, and they have the rights to all of it while they're alive. And then it also gives them the protection because they're choosing who will speak for them. Right. And they can choose their partner. They can choose their partner saying, hey, if I'm incapacitated, they can make my medical decisions.
Pay bills.
They're able to pay bills, write checks, do all of that.
Purchase things,
mm-hmm.
Sell things. Yep. That's not necessarily when you pass away, but you may be still alive and needed help.
Exactly.
And making medical decisions, if you're not married, the doctors will literally tell you, they will look for your parents in that situation.
Usually the first question is who's your next of kin? Mm-hmm. Well, if you have a life partner, they're not legally your next of kin.
Not legally, at least.
And so we want to make sure that they have the powers and they are empowered to be able to make those decisions for somebody who they have been with potentially for, 30, 40, 50 years. And so it is something that I've seen a lot more recently.
Okay.
Couples coming to me, and they've been life partners for years and they just want to make sure that they're protected. Sometimes there's disgruntled family members because of their life choices. Mm-hmm. And, each family is going to be different. But my goal is to just make sure they're protected and they're safe from probate, from guardianship, from anything that could potentially come their way. And so that's some of the discussions that we have.
Yeah, that's great. And again, another subject that people may not consider that would apply to them, but it applies to basically all of us in any different case, whether you're younger, older, have affluent, maybe you have less, maybe you have a same-sex partner. This really applies to everybody.
Mm-hmm. Family here, family in another state.
Another country.
We see quite a bit of things.
Adopted children.
Foster children. Yes,
blended families.
Absolutely.
It really applies to
everybody, anyone
who wants to be protected when they're alive or they passed away.
Correct.
Because the trust also applies when you are alive.
Yeah. We're protecting them while they're living and then protecting their assets after they've passed. Great. Is the goal. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can't find a reason why not to.
Yeah.
I'm really trying here. And I can't find a reason why someone
there's
would not.
There's not many reasons to not be protected.
Yes.
So the trust is the one time that I feel personally that you can cover those what-if scenarios. Mm-hmm. What if I'm incapacitated? What if my beneficiary passes before I do? What if I can't, if I've passed and now where does my money go and how does my house get handled? And it really covers all those what ifs. It's the one time you can probably do that and actually confidently say I've done my protection. So.
And it can be changed. So just quickly, there's revocable and non-revocable trusts. Is that right?
Yep, irrevocable and irrevocable.
Mm-hmm. So what's the difference between?
One is revocable. It can be revoked, changed, or amended anytime during your lifetime.
By the trustees only?
By the creators of the trust, so the settlers. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then the irrevocable is obviously it cannot be revoked. So basically, by the time you put your pen to paper, it cannot be changed. We are more commonly using the revocable portion because we want clients to be able to make changes through their lifetime because They may put a charity as a beneficiary and then they want to change that charity, or they put a family member as a person who's receiving a portion and then they want to change that family member's portion from 10% to 20%. So we usually use, or the more common is the revocable trust because it can be changed.
But there's also an option for someone who feels very strongly about their family that basically cannot be changed at any point in time.
You can use that irrevocable. So.
Again, a lot
and that's
of
a
options.
discussion we have.
A lot of options available.
Yep.
Really trying to find where this would not apply, but really it's can be used every day for everybody.
Yes. Yep. And once you have a trust, it is very easy to work with a trust. Because once you have it, anything you do, you open a new account, you buy a car, you buy a house, you get a loan, you just simply let the person know, hey, I have a trust, here's my documentation, and then they can open the account in the name of the trust right away. So
Great. We good?
good.
Corey will put it together.
Actually, I have a question.
Sure.
Because Olga and I, we're originally from Poland. Obviously, in Poland, the rules are completely different in regards to, especially
Everything. They're so different.
especially if, let's say, party passes away, and then pretty much everybody and everybody in the family has a dip in their pretty much. Yeah, thank you. Let's say, for individuals living out of the country, and let's say, for me, I have a trust, right? How my family in Poland would be able to, let's say, can they make any changes, adjustments to the trust if they are not in United States?
So the only person that can make the changes to the trust is the creators or the settlers of the trust. So in your trust case, the only person who can make that change is you. Upon your passing or your incapacitation, that trust becomes irrevocable. So it cannot be changed or amended or altered in any way. Now they have to abide by what that trust says.
Okay.
And if that trust says that aunt in Poland gets 50% and daughter here gets 50%, that's it. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Yeah, so nobody can change it except the person who creates it. And then once you're incapacitated or pass, it's irrevocable. It cannot be changed. So, but anybody can be a beneficiary.
Okay.
So anyone can receive funds. I did have a client who gave all of her money to her horse. And the person who was caring for her horse. So it can be anybody.
Literally.
But no, anybody in any other country. The key with that is just making sure that you have that contact information for your successor trustee or your manager to be able to find that person. Because a person in another country is going to be a lot harder to find than a person in the States.
Yeah.
So as long as you have that information, it's easy accessible. Anybody can be a beneficiary.
That is extremely important information because, like I said, I heard a lot of different stories that you know, people from different countries, they are trying to claim assets here in the United States, and unfortunately, it doesn't work that way.
So yes, I have Kaycee saved in my phone, as you know, with the asterisk. So, and I told my family, I have this trust. It's in here. If something, so you need to let everyone know who's involved or party to that trust that this is what I've done. This is where the book is. If something happens, you know, here's the number to the person that will help you guys, because I have family in Poland too. And the key is you have to keep everyone involved and informed. But another question, what if the manager, successor trustee abuses the trust? So what are the steps that someone can take, the beneficiaries, any legal actions that can be taken?
Sure. So if you're a beneficiary and you feel that the successor trustee is not doing their job, their due diligence, obviously you can ask that person to be removed or resigned. There is a step behind that. And so usually if I get calls, I've only had one situation, thankfully.
So they can call you about that?
They can call me and then I get them over to the attorney.
Okay.
Because there are steps and actions that have to be done that I cannot do. So the attorney who does that trust gets involved.
Okay.
And then they take the steps to get that person removed. But yeah, so can it happen? Yes.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, there's no way to prevent somebody from doing something fraudulent. But there are steps to make sure that if they are, we can get them removed and make sure that it gets back to being protected.
Excellent. That's one of the other questions that kept to my mind.
Yep.
I want to control everyone from my grave as much as I can.
That's the one thing we tell people not to do. Try not to reach outside the grave and manage people.
I was like, if somebody does against my will, anything.
Yes, but there are limits. There are specialties. There are things that you can do.
Great.
One thing I would tell clients to do is not make it so exotic that you're kind of handcuffing the successor trustee to things. Something that we had seen many years ago was we had a client who wanted to make sure that the family member lost weight.
Oh,
Well,
I mean,
that's a good motivation. How much you paying?
So the problem is you have a situation like, can it happen? Will it be done? I mean, but you're handcuffing.
Okay, now I want to hear all the stories.
Yes.
What else did you ask?
that's where the movies come from.
Yes, that's
my
where things
God.
start. But it's something where, like, those things, like, you're handcuffing this successor trustee to hold this money for 10 years, for 15 years, for 20 years. Like,
Oh my goodness.
try not to do that if you can.
That in that situation, also the successor trustee can resign.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Successor trustees can always resign if they are not
Okay.
able to, because, you may put somebody on there. Like, I have my parents on mine as secondary to my husband. They may not be able to do it if they're in their 80s or 90s.
Absolutely.
So they can resign, absolutely.
One more question. Do you pay the successor trustee for their work or you do not? Is it an individual question?
Sure.
Like, because I had that happen to me where they were frustrated because they were doing this for free.
Sure.
And that takes time to be a successor trustee.
So there is a section in the trust that talks about a reasonable wage. They can't come in and say, I'm making $500 an hour usually, but within a reasonable hourly wage. Or if the trust says a certain percentage, they want them to receive a certain percentage for doing the work. So that's a conversation we have with clients. Do you want them to receive a certain percentage? Do you want them to receive just a reasonable hourly wage? So those are things that we have talked about, but they can. Most of my clients don't take a pay. Yeah,
That
they
was
don't
my
take some kind of
experience.
payment. Yeah.
Which, it just depends. I don't know. It takes a lot of time and effort to settle somebody's estate.
Yes.
And we used to work together in a bank, so we've dealt with that.
Seen a lot.
I think, but I want to put out there that somebody can be rewarded for the work.
They can be, yeah. And I always tell clients, when we are doing estate planning, really think about your successor trustees and your beneficiaries. What are they having to do? They're grieving a family member or friend's loss. They're having to negotiate accounts. They're having to negotiate items, sell items. Try to make it as easy as possible. If you've got 50 accounts, maybe consolidate some of those accounts. If you are, have a lot of items in your home, maybe start looking at consolidating some of those items. Do you need 15 cars? Well, it depends. Are they classic cars or are they rusting and flat tires? Like, those are the things that your family members are having to go through. Try to make it easy on them and really think about what items you have in your home. Is it stuff or is it valuable? Is it mementos? Is it family heirlooms? And really evaluate what you have because the kids are having to go through all that. The family members are having to go through it. And it's a lot.
That absolutely. It's a lot.
Love it.
Anything else we want to talk? We went on gay couples. We went on Poland. I don't know what else there should be.
No, this is huge. People. I mean, at least
for our Polish audience.
Yeah,
It's huge because
they are absolutely terrified as to it's like, well, I mean, it doesn't make no line of insurance, no trust, no nothing.
Yeah,
it's
and in our
I didn't know
culture
that everybody has a piece of the property.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Well, they don't with a trust. It's only the beneficiaries.
Because the law applies here. So that's
correct.
also good
Your
to
residence,
mention that if you have people from out of the country, the trust obviously follows our laws and local
yes,
right,
or national laws, right? That would be the case. Is it a state or federal?
Most of the time when it comes to clients like out of state, there's very specific things that we have to do for clients that are out of state. What we usually do is, I sit down with a client, we talk about those types of items. If I don't have an answer or I can't get an answer or I can't answer their questions, then I will go to the attorney and make sure, can we do this? Can we not do this? And those are things that I have with me having this attorney relationship. I'm able to get that information and relay it back to the client so that they know, yes, we can move forward with this. No, we can't. We have to change something. So yeah, we always have the ability to
Very deep
consult.
conversation
Yep,
with you.
absolutely.
And that usually happens on the consultation piece of it, or maybe second appointment.
Sorry, as I kick you. Yes, yep, consultation, let's sit down, let's talk, because each family, each dynamic, each estate is so different. You know, I could tell you 100 different stories of 100 different clients and then some. It's just a consultation.
I want to know them all.
Yeah.
What else did you? What was the weirdest, the coolest? I don't know.
Oh gosh.
Some most memorable.
The weirdest was the weight one for me.
Yeah,
My favorite usually is the client who has this person's getting this person's getting this person's getting this. You know, those are called subtrusts. So if you say, okay, this one's getting the house, this one's getting the cabin, this one's getting the Corvette, this one's getting the Chevy, whatever it is, those are subtrusts. And those unfortunately do cost legal time.
Right.
And so they are an additional cost to do those. And with this, we had about 15 of them.
Okay, one more question.
Sure.
Is the horse still alive?
The client is still alive. So yes, the horse and client are still alive. Yes.
Okay, yeah, it's a client.
Very common questions are, well, what about my dogs? What about my birds? I've walked into a house and the whole house was an aviary.
Wow.
I think that's how you say it, aviary?
Don't ask us.
Aviary, I think. But I mean, the whole house was built for the birds. And so, you know, what happens with that? And so his children knew exactly what happened, which charity it would go to, who would receive the birds. And when he passed away, it was easy to execute. And they did. So,
Side note, adjust my trust to include my cat and my dog.
yes.
Oh, you see?
Yes.
Now you got a dog.
You have to think.
I gotta talk.
You see? There's always a live event. Just wait when...
But think about that. If you passed away today, who gets the cat, who gets the dog?
My son.
How
Does
do
he
you
know
know that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
In the trust.
The
In the
husband will
in
be
the-
like, here's the dog.
In our trust, there's a gifting section. The son gets the dog. The daughter gets the cat. Like you put that in that gifting, so they know this is where these animals or pets or mementos go to. Yeah,
The bottom line.
you need to trust.
Whoever has something and would like to have it divided per your wishes, they need to speak with you.
Yes.
They need to have a trust. That's
Yes.
the bottom line.
Yeah,
And you make it
so
fun, Kaycee.
I
You just
try.
make it so fun and light. I was like, this makes sense. This is so easy.
Yeah.
You make it so casual and so you're so approachable that
Thank you.
it's like, okay, I make sense.
It's scary. Nobody wants to talk about their deaths. Nobody wants to talk
Yeah.
about their being
But I felt so relieved. I was like, oh my gosh, like
Yes.
just I can die tomorrow.
Yep.
Like seriously,
Yes.
because everything is I still control.
Sure.
I still control the process.
You've got the control. Whether you are living or not living, you've got it in black and white.
Yeah.
And that what if scenario, it's covered.
It's covered. I have
yes.
them all.
Yeah.
They all know. Here's the book, and you better
Here's where
follow
to find it. Here's what you got to do. Yes, yeah. And you know the goal for me is you know, again, people don't like talking about their death. They don't like talking about their estate. I mean, I don't even like talking about it with my mom, and I do this for a living. And
Yeah.
she calls me, and hey, we're doing this. No, I don't want to talk about it. So even as a child, I don't want to talk about it, but you have to.
You have
Right.
to.
But you know, we have clients who have lost a family member
Very unexpectedly.
very unexpectedly, or they get diagnosed with cancer, and within a month they've passed. And if they don't have their affairs in order, you know, if somebody's already incapacitated, I can't do anything.
That's right.
So
It's too late at that moment.
Exactly. If I get a call from a client, and I've had a client who's called and their spouse was on hospice, I can't do anything at that point. It's too late.
So they have to go through the court system, the probate.
They potentially have to get
And
through
that
guardianship and get approved to be the person's guardian, and that could take months. And that person may not have months. So it is something that it's better to do it now while you can make your own choices versus doing it later and it's too late.
That's true.
So
Just a quick question.
Sure.
Can you please remind us once again, you can serve clients only in Arizona or other states as well?
I can do other states. So a lot of the states we can do, some states we can't.
Okay.
So usually if I sit with a client and we discuss, you know, oh, I have my mother in California or I have my niece who needs to do it in Minnesota. It just depends on the state whether we can or cannot. And that's just a phone call to my attorney to make sure, like, can you do this state? And they'll let me know if they can.
Okay,
So,
super.
yeah, absolutely. So all states, or most states.
Most states, exactly.
Most states.
And working on the other ones, which you cannot.
Yes. So we love some states more than others. Some make it a little more trickier, but it's usually deed work is the hardest part of it.
Okay.
So because they have assets and our snowbirds that go back and forth,
Right.
they could potentially see probate in 2 states. And so the deed work is usually the hardest to do.
I see.
So
Yeah, that's another important. What if
Great
you
info, yeah.
live half year here and somewhere else?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have a clients buying here second homes, right? So
yeah. So they have an
Important
asset
topic.
here and they have an asset in another state. They will potentially go through probate twice. And so, yes. And each state has their own limit. Arizona's
Different
one
rules.
limit. Another state, I've looked up other states and it was like 52,000.
I would trust you are protected.
Yes. You won't go through probate at all. And so that's the goal.
We need to pull us points
Yes.
and do 2,000 more reels.
Right?
It's gonna be a lot of reels on this one.
Another topic we can talk about.
Uh-huh.
Is special needs children.
Okay.
And
Let's talk about it. Do you have time?
do you have time? Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and then every question, I guess, we can make a separate reel. We have it for weeks.
Yeah.
And if anything like changes just let us know. We'll make more. Because this is so interesting. Would be to me at least.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of information.
Yeah.
There's a lot out there, a lot of questions, a lot of
I
concerns.
love the horse thing.
Oh man.
Is he still alive?
Yeah.
Does he need a caregiver?
Yeah, he's still alive. My most weirdest one was a client who wanted to be buried with her pets. And I would say
the
that was
pets
probably
alive or
my
dead?
weirdest. They were still alive at the time.
That's my question.
I told her I can't give that type of legal advice, and you'd have to talk to a mortuary. You'd have to talk to other
That's a valid
people.
question. What if that's what they want?
So I told her that she'd have to
I
consult
see.
with a mortuary to see
If they can combine humans with animals?
what the state laws and things were for that. But that was probably weirder than the weight one. So,
I don't know. I like the weight one. There's health concern.
there is. So I'm like,
I swear, I almost feel like I watch a movie on Netflix about something like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
There's so many things.
Yeah.
Because every
So many
family
things.
will have their own thing.
No, the weight thing.
Oh, the weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. We see all kinds of things. So.
And I've seen people like leaving the money. There was a real story that they left billions or millions to a dog in Europe.
Yeah.
Somewhere, I think Germany or something. I was like, sure. I mean,
It happens.
I wish I was that
Yeah.
dog.
One of the things that is an important topic to talk about also is special needs children.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Children with special needs and drug provisions. We do have clients who will ask, well, how do we prevent them getting money, or how do we make sure that they pass drug tests? We have very specific, very detailed wording related to drug provisions in our trusts if they're needed.
Okay.
Obviously, anything additional to a trust can be an additional cost. And I hate to keep saying that there's an additional cost. Really, in a nutshell, we don't run across those often.
Right.
But when we do, we obviously want to offer those services to clients. But with drug provisions, they have the ability to kind of reach out past the grave and say, hey, you need to get clean.
Yeah.
And if you get clean, you can have money. But if you don't, then you don't get a dime.
So the money's sitting and
So
waiting.
it's held until they pass the drug test or pass the requirement that they need to pass. And if they don't, then usually that money goes to the remaining beneficiaries.
There's another step.
When it comes to special needs children, you have a situation where they may be getting Social Security disability, or they may be getting state assistance and things like that.
Right.
And you have to be very careful with giving money to those children or adults.
Even caregivers.
Yeah, so you have to be very careful how that money is given to that person or is used for their care. And so we do have special needs provisions that are put in place that we can add, because you need to be very specific on how that is going to be held or used for that person.
And I'm sure it has to be written very legal way.
Exactly.
Very
So-
like black and white.
Absolutely.
would know.
So when I talk to clients, if they mention, oh, my special needs daughter or special needs son, that's usually a conversation. I say, well, that's a great thing that we can do. We can add special needs provisions in there. And then I make a note of it, again, because I'm able to take that information. I make a note of that in their documents, and the attorney talks to them about it and really goes over the legal part of it.
And how to structure.
How the structure is of it, how it works, because they do want to make sure each person is aware of how that can be done. And so that is other options that we have. So it's not just normal, everyday, life. It can also be clients who have those special needs children because they need guardianship.
They need it more
They
than
need care. They need things
even as
that,
adults, they may need that care
Exactly.
instead of kids that are
Exactly.
not special needs.
So we offer those abilities to be placed into their trust also.
That's amazing. I mean, you cover it all. I don't know if there's any other situation we didn't cover.
There's quite a bit of information. So it's the goal is that consultation. Let's talk. Let's sit down and let's just talk. I'm not going to push you into anything. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm just here to educate you. And if it's something that I'm able to do and help you with, let's do it. Let's get you safe. So.
That's amazing. Once again, my name is Olga Boyki. I'm a realtor with eXp Realty.
My name is Kaycee Rees. I'm an estate planner with Generation Living Trusts.
Yes, hi, my name is Edita Pluta-Czarnecki. I am Senior Loan Officer at Neighborhood Loans.
Thanks for watching, and please subscribe for more.